All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:33. I'm sorry. I'm a little late today. Had a lot going on this morning. Hopefully everyone's feeling well, getting ready for another day. It is Wednesday. CPI is behind us. Market bounced. Tried to negate a little bit of last Friday's bearish candles. And here we are. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. And let's see. Here we are. A new not really in the virtual world. Getting getting up there. Hopefully this sounds a little better. Let me say hello to some of my dogs. First, I got to show you the little disclosure. There's a disclosure. So you can see what we're doing, and compliance is all happy. There you go. Let's now take it off. Let's say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Who do we got? We got Frank Tucci in the house. We got Don in the house. What up? What up? Ryan, how you doing? What's up, M55? How does this sound? First of all, can you hear music in the background? Because I'm not sure if the music's getting picked up. Oh, come on, Blair. You could tell me. Blair's a member of the Alpha team. What's up, It's? So how does it sound? Does it sound all right? Yeah, yay or nay? What up, Bill? What up, Marco? No music? So you don't hear the music. So only I hear the music. Is it like jumbled? All right, you got Red Bank in the house. What up, Jim Nelson? All right, let me lower this a little bit. So look good. I could listen to the music and I could get it going. So all right, so here we are. So basically, on Friday, okay, a lot of people were like, "Hey, Red Dog, what do you think? What do you think's happening in the market? Are we at a short-term top?" Everyone's been trying to call a short-term top. That's what people love to do. Because the Bears, sound a lot better than the Bulls, right? The Bears always sound smarter. It's always more sophisticated to talk about all the problems. But anyway, so if you do remember, on Friday, we had this Red Dog reversal right here, right? What's a red dog reversal? You guys know that. A red dog reversal is when the SPYs get above a prior high, which it did, and reverse. So if you were long from buying the dip prior sessions, gave you a way to reduce some shares, get rid of some positions and move on. So if you did that, then all of a sudden what happened again? Hey, we held 508, and then yesterday took out Monday's high to show that these bears could not control price. So my call, which is a call, of that we might have a short-term top for March and maybe April, probably is not going to be right. So do I stick to my call and just short every uptick yesterday? Or do you adjust and look for things that are acting well, things that can make you money, and rebuild your active portfolio so you can massage positions with a tier system to continue to go? So that's what Red Dog does. Red Dog says, hey, we haven't made a new high yet. Maybe the call is wrong. Maybe, a call is a call. If the market doesn't, confirm it, it's only an opinion. So anyway, so yesterday you had a way to adjust. The CPI did feel hot, and but the market didn't care. So if the market doesn't care, does Red Dog care? No, Red Dog adjusts. So anyway, what now? So now here we are. Another upper flag. Yesterday's high is 517.36. Here's Friday's high of 518. SPYs right now are up 20 cents. So hanging here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to adjust and stay with things. So I went from having no longs, okay, here's the Alpha team, to having a bunch of longs. So yesterday I did get long Nvidia. I'm trying to be long Apple, even though there's like this algo. I think there's really this algo, in Citadel where when Nvidia is going up, Apple has to go down. When Apple's going up, like it did on Friday, because Nvidia reversed, it's kind of crazy, like the pairs trading that's going on. But anyway, I'm trying to stay with Apple for a little bit. Nvidia has been a friggin' rock star. I'll get to that chart. Amazon seems like it's in the game. I'm long some SPYs, but I'm also short some 518 premium or 519 premium above. So I could maybe make a middle to 518 and still be, collecting premium. It gets above 518, then, we'll see how much more it goes. Then I'm making money long it. And if we went lower, I keep the premium. So it's my way of like kind of being long short in the same scenario. But anyway, and then Rumble's acting pretty well. And then I have some leftover options. Gold was overbought. Silver is trying to play catch up, but not great. And Bitcoin is trying to figure out if it could really get going above 70,000. But anyway, so that's the Alpha team. So we'll see what happens here. The Qs did the same thing. You look at the Qs, you have this upper area. If the tech bears had, power after this candlestick, they probably would never have let it get back above Monday's high. That's why he had a doji here. Wasn't sure if it was going down, and now he popped up. So now the question is, how long are we going to be in this channel going sideways? Is it going to take a few sessions, or all of a sudden we'd be going into the weekend at another new high? Anyway, yeah, Beto's. Listen, I'm in Beto calls. The only way you could buy options on BITO for crypto is on a decline because there's a huge spread in those options. But anyway, so that's what that looks like. So I'm still focusing on the names that have been working. I try and rotate a little bit, but you have to be very careful. IWM. 3 down days. Doesn't like a hot CPI. I have no IWM on. I had a nice call spread up here. XPI, I got a little caught. The XPI, if you remember this cup and handle pattern, it was awesome. And, you had your cup, your handle. We were buying the XPI in here. I bought the 95 by 100 calls. And, and then all of a sudden I thought maybe we could flag up here to go one more time. And now I'm in the 105 calls that are probably aren't going to work. But anyway, so let's talk about Nvidia for a second, because Nvidia has been the key to this market. So a lot of people like, hell, Red Dog, look at the size of that bearish engulfing candle, which you do see, but that was after 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of 5, 6, 7 green days into that ramp up to 1,000. It was a little overheated, so it created that opportunity to sell some long, sell some premium, get short, whatever. And then all of a sudden you had a doji here too. And then it was a nice buy when it got above 887. Okay. So what's Nvidia doing right now? It was up more. It's up 5. So what I do is, if I'm long Nvidia overnight, I sell a little bit up 5, and then I hold a little bit to see. Chances are this 927 is not going to be the easiest to get through. If it gets above 927, which it's above right now, the high from yesterday, then all you have is 973. If you remember, everyone's like, well, Red Dog, doesn't this always mean it's a top? I'm like, it can mean a top for 2 days. It can mean a top for 4 days. It can be a top for 3 months or not. Remember when SMCI did that? SMCI did this crazy big topping candle, but that also is after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up, did a Red Dog reversal sell, and then took 2 days. Nvidia took 1, and then it took it out, which was a nice trade, went sideways. Then all of a sudden, this, what's it called, had another move above that. So if you didn't adjust based on the days after a day to take notice, then you're not doing your job. So let's say a little cheers to doing your job. Cheers to adjusting to what's happening. Listen, I like, again, the reason why I get mad at people on TV is because they make calls. They're not even traders, and then they double and triple down on their calls when they're wrong, and then you lose a lot of money if you think that person's smart. I don't try and be smart. I try and just do the right thing. I was talking to my dad on the way in, Papa, who's getting cataract surgery, and he was like, "Sonny boy, how you doing? The market's doing great. You must be killing it." I'm like, "Dad, you know better than that. Doesn't mean if the market's going higher, it doesn't always mean that traders are making money. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's predatory, sometimes there's a pain trade. But anyway, but he's like, "Well, what's going on?" I'm like, it's going well. It's like, I'm like, "Dad, what do you do on an 11 versus 6 in blackjack?" He's like, "Well, Sonny, you hit." I'm like, "Well, sometimes you don't always get the face card." He's like, "Yeah, but then if you don't get the face card and he's got a 6, maybe he'll bust." I'm like, "Well, that's 2 ways to win in blackjack. So those are good hands." I'm like, "So I have to continue to look for the good hands and follow the rules. And if you follow the rules in trading, chances are, you're going to make money over the long term. But in order to follow the rules, you have to think clear. In order to think clear, you have to have your morning process." That's why I was in the sauna this morning doing my about 400 reps. And then I was in my ice barrel. And then I got to get prepared for the day so I can follow my rules. Anyway, so, if you look at an order of the Mag 7 now, okay, of what could make higher highs, this is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Microsoft looks really good. Microsoft has been in this sideways consolidation for, a long period of time. I talked about this yesterday. I said, can it get above this 410? If you get above 410, then you have this downtrend. Then all of a sudden, 420 is the key. So to me, Microsoft looks good. I'm not long Microsoft overnight. Let me see what Microsoft is doing this morning. Microsoft's up 50 cents. This to me looks pretty good. Okay, so Microsoft looks like it's set up. It hasn't made a new high since February 9th. It's March 13th. So it's been a month of sideways action. So Microsoft should be something, kind of on your top of your go-to list. I also think Amazon looks pretty good. It's been going sideways for a little while. Jeff sold a gazillion shares. I think The CEO sold some shares. Everyone's selling some shares, ringing the register. But that's what they're doing in every stock right now. There's not a lot of inside buying going on. But anyway, this did get above 174.77. Now, it probably has to get above here in order to work its way up. I am long some Amazon, and I do have some options, and I think that this also is kind of in the game. So I would say Microsoft and Amazon look pretty good. Netflix is tricky. Netflix is hanging around. Oh, look at that. I drew this wedge yesterday. And, it did go below this 600, came back above. And it seems as if this also looks better. Okay, this looks better and easier to manage than some of the other names, but Netflix sometimes is very thin. It trades by appointment, so it kind of really needs to be perfect. But it looks pretty good. Apple is trying to rebuild. Apple's got the small inside range at the bottom of this area. To me, I was going to use this as a stop. I didn't. I'm still in it. I guess now what I'll do for Apple is, I'll hold it versus this spot here as long as, what is this? This is 170.101. As long as 171 holds, I'll try and stay with it. And if it could act a little bit better, maybe it clears 174 to go towards the upside. It's just in the, hey, maybe I could do better camp, but hasn't really proven it yet. But overall, I think Apple in time is going to be just fine. From my institutional connections, what I'm hearing is actually that their AI event in June is going to be freaking blockbuster, but everyone's kind of numb to that. So that's why no one's warming up yet. But anyway, that's between you and I. As far as other things, some guys like, well, why are you in Rum again? I'm like, well, look at Rumble. Okay, Rumble gave us, remember this move? That was really nice. To 836, got out of the way. I think on this candle, when it broke the 8-day, I'm like, I'm done with these little guys. And then yesterday, it kind of woke up again. So nice consolidation. So this is a good bull flag. So I bought some yesterday. Maybe I'll add above 836. And then you go to the weekly chart of Rumble. And look at this. Look at this downtrend right here. It gets above this 835. Looks like it can go. There's a lot of chatter about TikTok and this and that. But anyway, looks pretty good. So that's why I'm in Rumble. As far as some people like Palantir is such a pain in the butt, it is, but it is what it is. You have to be kind of perfect with this name. It's a kind of a battleground. But anyway, if you want to raise this accelerated trend line here, it's still hanging in there and still looks okay. But you have to be careful. It was extended, and then it also did a red dog reversal. So anyway, this point, you got to pick and choose your battles here. But this should be some support, and it's probably what's it doing this morning? It is up a whole penny. So now where the action is this morning. Anyway, so with that being said, you definitely just have to kind of keep looking around and keep going where the easier money is. Let's see what QBTS. Somebody on the Alpha team gave it to me, and he's like, "Hey, Red Dog, you like bull flags? Look at this QBTS. It has a bull flag. It kind of broke out." So I was like, you know what? I'll try some. This is quantum computing, which is kind of like an AI type scenario. So I went with it. Not something you should be overly focusing on. Your mic fades in and out when I turn my head. Okay, sorry about that. It's like, this is the microphone. Can you hear now? So if I turn my head that way, it's hard to hear. Okay. Saun. That also is like a little guy, little nice bull flag type of move here. Cleared one area yesterday. So yesterday was a good time to get in. Now you have 791. What's it doing? It is up 50 cents. So yeah, listen, getting a little follow through. 791 is your next area. So yeah, listen, there's things to do. If you're not just looking for tops, looking for shorts, looking to be pessimistic, looking to, to be glass half empty, that's been crazy awesome for some. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing, because Bitcoin shook the tree a little bit and it was up this morning. Let's go to my watch list. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is back at 73,000, just like that. So, it's getting a little loose and wide, but it's still traveling along this 8-day moving average. And it did make a higher high. This is 72.9. I'm trying to stay with options, my another set of plays, because I do think that it played with the 69 enough that at some point, Bitcoin got above its high of 69. It's hovering around that. I gotta believe there's one more ramp before the halving, before it goes into a corrective phase. So anyway, maybe put the mic on the side of the monitor. Thanks, Bobby. Bobby 4.0, love you. Bobby's always trying to add value. Any interesting? You know what? I've been sticking just with Bitcoin. I played Ethereum once or twice. You know what? The last time that crypto had this big move, I made a lot of money in altcoins, and it was fun. And it took a lot of energy out of me. But once I sold like 75% of like all of my altcoins, and I'm like, I'll keep 25%. And then when Bitcoin topped and the altcoins crashed and Luna happened, a lot of these things went down 75%. I'm like, oh, I could buy more down 75%. And they all lost like 95%. So I gave back a whole bunch of money, and it was a pain in the butt. I'm like, guess what? I'm going to trade equities. I'm going to accumulate Bitcoin long term, and I'm going to trade Bitcoin here and there. And this is your 69 and 69. Anyway, it's holding above it, and let's get one more candle and then maybe be done with it. But really nice trend. Like this has been super duper, and it's been working for a lot. A lot of people played Mister. We played some of the miners. They kind of disconnected. Do you think that HNS is formulating the cues? Let me take a look for you. I don't, not really. Let's see. Where do you see a head and shoulders pattern forming? Let's see. You see a head and shoulders pattern. Well, not. I kind of think this came up a little bit too much already. If there was a head and shoulders pattern, this would be like your left shoulder right here, right? This I guess would be your head, and then I guess this would be can't really get much above this. If you're thinking a head and shoulders pattern, then you're thinking that it can't really get too much above yesterday's high, or if it pushes through it, it fails. And then this would be your neckline, right? So I kind of don't think so. I just think you have an upper channel, and we'll see how long it lasts. Tom Lee said the market was going to crash 7% yesterday. Did he say that? I didn't hear that. Anyway, Tom Lee's been pretty damn good. He's been, very soft-spoken and very calming. But meanwhile, he's usually glass half full. And out of all the strategists out there, has been pretty good. Yeah, K-Web's been awesome. Guys were yelling at me for buying K-Web a month ago, and I talked in my 2024 report on you. If you have an asset allocator working for you, or some kind of money manager to allocate to China, look at that move. This is where we were buying the KWEB options. Unfortunately, a lot of mine expired last Friday. But anyway, if you're asset allocating, I do think if you go look at KWeb over the longer term, you go to the monthly. Actually, look. Oh, by the way, look where it's done, not the monthly, the weekly. I would think that you keep buying, not individual Chinese names, but the FXI or the KWeb, and all of a sudden you will create alpha for your asset allocation. Meaning you have equities, bonds, gold, crypto, and some foreign regions. And I do think that this is one of them that's going to wind up doing just fine. And if you're trading it wise, look at this weekly chart. Looks like it's ready to go. But anyway, as far as gold and silver, gold needed a day off, which we were talking about. I'm today my call spread expires, so if we pull back down towards the 8-day, which is what strong trends do, what I'll probably do is go out maybe a month and buy some calls above 203 for this to continue after we go sideways. Because if you look at the monthly chart, it looks as if this just broke out of this cup and handle pattern. I don't think that it's going to be a fake out. But gold is crazy. It might, but bottom line is I do think we go towards 220. So you got to pick and choose your battles along the way. Oh, what up, Mario? How you doing? AMD. AMD, has been a little tricky, but AMD it was a little weaker to start yesterday. Did do a somewhat of a red dog reversal here. Okay, first of all, this was the best candle AMD's ever did. Why? Because we made money in AMD, and also gave me clues that Nvidia can continue. And I went really long Nvidia, and then we got paid there. But anyway, it kind of went below the prior low, came up, has a gap to fill above it. Let's see what Nvidia is doing real quick. Nvidia is up 6, which is like a Nvidia. And let's see what I bet you AMD is up 80 cents. Let's see. 19 cents. So anyway, I think that could be a trade in AMD, quickie. If it can get above this little area here, and fill the gap, why not? Yeah. So yeah, it's, some people long verse yesterday gets above this, fills that gap. There you go. Silver's hanging in there, but it's slow. you're gonna need gold to go a lot higher for silver to work. It did hold the 8 day. It's still in this trend. Silver cost me a lot of money in my options. I made good money in my options last week. I have, calls for this Friday and next Friday. If we were to hang here a little bit, maybe I just go out a month or two. And, the metals are just not fun for me to trade. But when they're in there and there's a great trade, there was a good trade there. There's a nice breakout trade in gold. And I thought silver would have a little bit more power, but it just didn't yet because it's also like an industrial use. And when you have all these regions in recession, silver's not the way to go. Gold and Bitcoin are more like the anti-government, anti-debt. I think we have 34 trillion in debt, and I can't believe Biden and Trump are going to be the two candidates in the U.S. elections. What the hell is wrong with us? Are we that horrible that we both our candidates have to be over 80 years old? I'm not going to get into it, but anyway, I don't believe in the far left or the far right. I'm a moderate in the middle, and we can't find one. Anyway, with that being said, we'll see what happens here in the market. Lily, what did Lily held? Lily trades like an AI stock. It's in that basket. So when Nvidia and those guys came under some pressure, so did Lily. It broke this little ascending channel. But then yesterday, it's not, if you were shorted, you got tricked. If you were long it, maybe there's some room there to the upside. You know what? I played the gold miners. You talking hits? I made really good money in Nugget and UGT. We did that together right here, if you remember. And I actually got out of it a little early. I think I got out of it into here. Yeah, it held where it had to. Maybe the gold miners go better. So if you wanted to trade something, you buy this on a dip. That's NUGT, but this was your spot. We talked about this. I made more money in this doing the options than I did in the GLD just because I was too tight on my spread. But anyway, Costco, that also traded like in the AI bucket. Look at the size of that move and then look at the size of that bounce back. At this point, I guess there's room to retest this little area where it broke down from. And then there's your gap pivot. But I don't trade Costco. I have my list of 40 names and I'll look at it here and there when it's perfect. But, for me, I have a nice basket. I'm always looking at like Nvidia, AMD, SMCI, Vago over here. And then right in front of me, I'm looking at Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Tesla, the mags there. And then I have the one-offs, and then I have the gold and the silver and the Bitcoin and the Mister and the BITO and the SPYs, the Qs, the XBI. So I'm not watching, Costco or Walmart or Boeing. I do have some Macy's on, which isn't going to work. I thought maybe there was, a little when there's like, smoke, there's fire. I was kind of thinking that Macy's does get taken over at 24, but I'm running out of time for my options and I'm not going to, go out a little bit more. Tesla, please. Tesla just is horrible. Tesla's been a lot of people like Red Dog used to trade Tesla the way you trade Nvidia now. I'm like, yes, well, leadership changes, things change. And then I used to trade Apple years ago, like it used to trade like Tesla did. And things mature and things change and things go through sequences. But for right now, Tesla's trying to hang here. I think it got downgraded. Someone else threw the hammer in on it down. This is horrible. I haven't stay away. Nvidia is so clean, trades through levels, has a group. Tesla's on its own. People think Elon's out of his mind lately. And when he's below the 8 and 21 day, he's a little eccentric. When he's above 8 and 21 days, he's a genius. We've talked about that. And right now, Tesla's been broken since here. It's been below the 8 day this entire time. Gave you a little bit of a clue that it's getting a retraceable bounce, and then that happened. And then bottom line is Tesla's a small little cash flow trade only when it's perfectly set up. I guess this morning, 172.41 is the low from yesterday. There's so many easier things out there to trade, and you definitely don't want to be sitting in this. And again, when the stock market's making highs and you have a stock making lows, what happens if the stock market pulls in? The relative weaker stocks go a lot lower. So this is not somewhere where you want to be hyper focused, in my humble opinion. Anyway, I got to get going. Holy cow! At 6:57, I'm only supposed to be doing this for 20 minutes. I appreciate you. I got to do my 40 charts and get moving. Hasta la vista, baby. Anyway, later, guys. Good luck today.